林音，
听到吗？已经
听到林音。
OK。那个 slide 我那个 slide 我现在那个 group 那边啊，你可以 play 那个 slide，然后我会 OK，那个 music 是一直在 play 着的，你就 play as a 在 group 那边我有 send 一个 slide 啊，然后就
啊，对对对。
这样子好的啊。
有一个人在那边是谁的啊？
应该是 participant 来的，
哦，
我不敢给他进来先，他又出去了。刚才有两个也是在等着，然后又出去了。哦 no，那我就不要给他们进来先。那是我就要现在我要 post 那个 YouTube 那个 link 在那个 Facebook page 那边先。
然后这个东西哦，是这个 slide 是开到11点的是吗？还是他们会要 post 那个他们做的 video？
他们 video 要几时放啊？
不懂哦，他们没有讲哦。
要不然就是开
我们
着等。
他们播 video，我们就关我们的咯。
是咯。然后你看他们要什么的时候，你就可以关掉那个 video，因为现在我直接 link 读那个 YouTube 了的，在 live 这了。
哦，你现在在 live 这了啦？
But of course 那个 link 还没 share 出去过啦。诶，这样我就现在 send 那个 link 出去没有啊？
也是可以啊。
可以哦，可以 post 上哦。
但是我只是在想，如果好像你把 post 给我
啊
，screen 是在你那边是吗？哎
啊，
，screen 在你那边是这样，是我被 share screen 是吗？
你要 share screen，因为我
啊，
我怕等一下我来不及，我不懂几时要 stop screen 什么嘛，然后我怕等一下哈，
嗯，
所以我就连 share 在 group 那边的那一个。嗯，还有什么要写什么？
campus 没有餐厅开啊？
哦，其实我真的是，应该是那个西餐也没有这样早开吧？我昨天是，诶，但是我昨天几点去吃啊？好像也是11点去吃啊，如果没有错，10点多去吃，它已经开了，
嗯，
我直接关到，很可怜。你看现在剩下西餐一间，然后还有一间是好像新的，没有看过，就
嗯，
在楼梯旁边小小间这样子的。
哦，Family Mart 也没有啦。
那个立马也没有了诶。它是虽然是挂着牌写 temporary close，但是我看里面就是全部冷的东西全部没到完，然
嗯
后价
嗯嗯嗯
剩一点点吧。但是新开一间 news 啊
嗯嗯，
，news
啊，
那个有咯。然后
好可怜哦，campus。
对，我在想，如果真的给他们回来，他们吃什么啊
哦，
？OK，我们可以 post 这个，嗯，OK OK，你可以 share 那个 screen 看。
看到吗？
OK，
看到吗？莹莹？
看到，你有 click 那个 share sound 吗？
等啊。
嗯
有吗？
，OK 有了。OK，
有莹莹。哦，OK OK。OK OK，然后莹莹你可以下给我个 YouTube 而已，就在 group 那边。来了。OK OK。然后我10点半才开，可以吗？我10点半才 on 这个，可以听了哦。现在还早。然后因为没有人有那个 link 了嘛，我下出去才有。哦，你下了啊？哦，OK OK。这样
morning, Dr. Roy and Dr. Thor.
I want to ask the video that you created just now. When would you like to share the video?
Yeah, video.
Yeah.
For yeah, I can share with you the video. Wait a moment. So I will have to share the screen.
Do you want to share the video?
Yeah, sure.
And then,
Right now, so you can see it also, Dr. Okay.
on,
Yeah.
mm, you can
I-
look at the yeah. You can look at the chat box. So the third one, she have a created YouTube link. So we can actually start sharing the YouTube link with a participant after 10:50.
um, Dr. Sao, I will just have to upload the video file itself, not the
Uh,
iMovie.
uh,
Just for like 1 minute. Give me 1 minute, please.
okay, sure. May I know when would you like to play the video? When we are
Mm,
admitting the
that's
participant?
Yeah, that's the entire video. So I'll just make it in a way that it goes back to from the very start. So it will be cyclical.
Okay, sure. And we have actually the YouTube live streaming link ready, so you may share with your IT department or ICT department if you
Yeah,
want.
sure, doc. Where's the link of the YouTube live?
Chat box. Can you see in the chat box?
Yeah. I saw it. Thank you, doctor. Mhm. Cyclical.
So actually now we are on the live stream of YouTube now. So if you want, we could
Oh, yeah.
actually play the video that you created, if you don't mind.
So far. So actually now we are on the live stream of YouTube now. So if you want, we could
Oh, yeah.
actually play the video that you created,
Yeah, yeah,
if you
yeah.
don't mind.
Uh,
So far.
Cynthia, can I try my slide? If it will work. See.
Yeah, yes. Sure.
Bennett, can I try my slide? If it
Yeah,
will
sure,
work.
sure. No problem. Please go ahead.
I'll
Yes
try.
po.
I'll just try if it will work.
Okay po.
Okay.
Um,
Sige po, Bipad. Try nyo po.
Okay. See, can you see it, Cinth, or anyone from here? Can you
Yes,
see
ma'am.
it?
Yes po.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So I'll stop sharing now.
Hi, Mary. Can you hear me?
yes, Dr. Tar. Or
Mary, would you
Dr.
like
Oy?
to share your screen on the video? You may
yes.
make it plain. Yeah. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning,
Morning.
Dr. Sao.
Morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning,
Morning,
Dr.
Dr. Lee.
Masake.
Morning. Morning, everyone.
Morning, everyone.
Good morning, Dr. Quinto.
Background.
Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, I'm looking at your background. I do not have that background.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Cynthia, Mary,
Cynthia, please
Sir
send me this
Bipad.
background. So I'll be
Bipad,
using.
I sent you to your messenger po.
Okay. Can you this one? Can you send it?
Oh. Why don't I have any virtual background also?
Yeah.
It got erased from my Zoom file, my Zoom account.
Okay, sir, I will send it to you right now. Wait.
Cynthia,
Ma'am,
please send it to me as well in my
Okay,
email,
okay.
please.
Noted.
Your email, please.
Yeah.
Oh, why did it disappear? Saan na kaya ito?
Dr. Masangkay, please check your email and Dr. Quinto about the virtual background.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay,
Got it,
welcome.
Cynthia. Got it.
Okay, thank you.
I have now the correct background.
Cool. Ground. Choose. Ayun. Nice. Delete siya.
Ano ba, medtech? Gusto ko naman.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
So, uh, we will be starting in a few minutes. Okay. So, I would like to welcome all the participants that are here present right now. Good morning to you all.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good
Morning.
morning.
Good morning, sir.
Hi, Benjamin. Hi.
Hi, Felim. Good
Hello.
morning.
Good morning, Dr. Lim.
Hi, morning.
How
Yeah,
are
good morning,
you?
Dr. Benny.
Good.
Good morning po.
Is my background okay?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
Long time never see you, Dr. Quinto.
Yeah. We'll be there soon. And hopefully you can also come to FEU soon.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you for initiating these webinars to
Sure.
celebrate our 10 years of friendship.
Yes.
Yeah.
Time really flies, Dr. Quinto. I still remember when you had the first visit and we hosted you in Taylor's.
Yeah,
Then
I
you see
still
now.
remember that. Yeah. That was 10 years ago.
Yeah, 10 years ago. You see,
Yeah.
so fast. Yeah.
And from then I have visited
Hmm.
Taylor's University several times.
Yes.
So Taylor's is a home for us. Every time we visit Malaysia, we really have to go to Taylor's. And then the last time I was there,
Yeah.
when I had with me some of the graduate students.
Yes. Yeah.
And
You
I
know,
think that was 2 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, we still reserve one bench for you, the research bench. We are waiting for
Okay.
you to come back. Let's do some research work.
Sure. Yeah. And of course, our Madonna, one of
Hmm.
our faculty members, is still
Yeah.
connected. She has not finished her PhD yet,
Okay.
but the two Harolds are done.
Yeah. So nice because I taught Harold before on research ethics,
Yeah.
and he remembered.
Yeah.
That's
He's now our director for international relation office.
yeah.
He's the one handling all these activities that we are doing now.
I see. So how is the vaccination in Philippines? Have you started the vaccination?
It has started, but only for priority are the frontliners.
Okay.
So some of the frontliners have been vaccinated, but not all of them yet. But it has started.
I see. So in Malaysia also the same case, but I suppose the entire vaccination will be completed somewhere early next year to Q1, Q2 next year. We have
Oh.
3 different phases. So the first phase will be the frontliners. The second phase will be the high risk people, those who are above 60, and then the other group will be under the phase 3, which is next year.
I think we have the same plan. Our government, I think, has the same plan. So they started with frontliners, and I think it will be followed also by those with comorbidities. Yeah.
I see. Yeah, it's quite challenging nowadays.
Yeah, it is. And now here in the Philippines, cases are rising.
Really?
Yeah, I think yesterday we almost the case yesterday, I think recorded case was almost 5,000. That's for a day.
I see.
So it is increasing. So I think the government will become strict again
Yeah.
for the coming days. Yeah,
Oh.
Dean Nguyen is there. Dean Nguyen, good morning.
Hello.
You're muted, Dean. Dean, you're muted.
Good morning po.
Good morning, everyone. I have another international conference.
So you have two laptops open again?
Monday, on the Friday, Saturday, I have the international conference on communication that I'm
Wow.
organizing and I'm leading. And I have a technical rehearsals with someone from Hong Kong. So sorry, I made it before 11. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it is now. You can move from one conference to another,
Yeah,
from
I
one
have to
country to another. Yeah, and
Yes.
from one country to another.
Yeah. You know, Dr. Quinto, we met together during the QS event.
Yeah, I know.
The
In the
virtual
QS
conference.
Apple. Yeah, you sent me a message. I think
Yes.
I answered. Yeah.
So,
We were
so
funded by the Commission on Higher Education. There were only, I think, around 20 universities from the
Okay.
Philippines that joined, and we were funded by the Commission on Higher Education. So Far Eastern University was one of the universities funded by the Commission on Higher Education to attend that. Yeah.
but for the presentation or for the attendance?
For the attendance and the presentation as well. But the one who presented is the chairman of the Commission on Higher
I
Education,
see.
Dr. De Vera.
Oh, okay.
He was one of the presenters.
Because for ours it is free participation. They used to charge, but then I can't remember. Then I have the free pass, free token to enter.
Oh, I
Yeah.
think we registered. But I didn't pay because it was paid by the government.
Okay, I see. I see. Yeah.
So 20
Dr. Quinto,
universities. Yeah.
yes. And
Okay.
Dr. Wen, let me introduce to you our executive dean, Emeritus Professor Prof. P.T. Thomas. Prof, you are muted.
Yeah.
Good morning, Prof.
Morning.
Thomas. Nice meeting you on although virtually. Thank you.
Good morning.
Allow me to say good morning to everyone in the room from Course Tailors and from FEU, our faculty. Dr. Masangkay is here. Hi, thank you again, Dr. Masangkay.
Morning po everyone. My pleasure, Dean.
Thank
Hi,
you for putting
Dr.
this together.
Adeline.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, Dr. Quinto. Long time.
Hello. Yeah, long time no see.
Dr. Felim, I remember now my friend, but Dr. Maduli.
I'm not too sure.
Angelo Maduli. We were there in 2011. Just recently, I shared with Dr. Tino our webinar. So I was so excited. I shared with her what we talked about, and she said, "Oh yeah, were you with us?" But I went to Taylor's, not with
FEU.
Yes. Oh, it's 11.
Okay. Yes,
Okay.
I leave it to the moderator. Yes.
Okay, so we will start with our webinar. Ladies and gentlemen, good day. Students around the world have become more mobile and higher education becomes more globalized to encourage a greater number of outgoing students and welcome the influx of incoming students. Welcome to this webinar with the theme, The Future of Inbound and Outbound Student Exchanges. At this point, I would like to remind everyone of our housekeeping rules. First, kindly ensure that microphone is muted at all times during the speaker's presentation to prevent disruption to all participants. Second, in this webinar session, there will be a total of 2 key speakers, each presenting on their area of expertise with 2 student speakers who will be sharing their experience and perspective. Third, no questions will be accepted during or after each presentation. However, you can type your questions in the chat box or submit your questions to slido.com, code number 45369. All questions will be addressed during the forum discussion session after all speakers have presented. And I would like to remind all speakers to adhere to the allocated presentation time limit so that we have sufficient time for forum discussion. And to formally mark the beginning of this event, may I call on the Executive Dean, Faculty of Health and Medical Science, Taylor's University, Emeritus Professor Dr. Paraydadatu Thomas to give us his welcome address.
Thank you very much, Dr. Maria, for that kind introduction. Good morning and good day, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. Myrna Quinto, Vice President of Academic Development, Far Eastern University, Associate Professor Dr. Philip Jung, Head of School of Biosciences, Taylor's University, staff of FEU and Taylor's University, students of FEU and Taylor's University, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for this invitation to say a few words on this occasion of commemorating and celebrating 10 years of the partnership between Taylor's University and FEU. The partnership started when Dr. Quinto was the Dean of the Institute of Arts and Science, together with the School of Biosciences of Taylor's University. The leadership has changed since then, but the partnership is still going strong. International collaboration is something that is good and useful in many ways. It helps the institutions to leverage on each other's strengths. It helps staff to collaborate in research. It helps institutions to collaborate in international rankings that is becoming more and more important. But I think we should not lose sight of the benefit that it brings to our students. I am a strong believer in student mobility, and I have seen it firsthand in my students who, even after spending 2 weeks in another country or in another institution, there is a difference in their outlook. There is a difference in their confidence level. They are more able to meet and work together with people who are different. So I'm a strong believer in student mobility, not so much because they will learn more biosciences or biotechnology or food science. That will be a side effect of the mobility, but more that they are able to open their minds to different cultures, to people who look different from them, people who speak differently, and people who have maybe a different faith. I think these are very useful for students as they prepare for their career in the world. I hope that this collaboration will continue and it will continue to grow. I want to thank FEU for your partnership with Taylor's University and wish you a very fruitful webinar. The barking that you hear is not from me, it's from my dog outside who I cannot control. Have a good day.
Thank you, Dr. Thomas, for that meaningful welcome address. And to give her welcome address, may I call on the Dean of the Institute of Arts and Sciences, Far Eastern University, Dr. Rowena C. Capulong.
I'm Dr. Capulong Reyes. Capulong Reyes. All right. FEU administrators, faculty, scholars, our resource speakers, Mr. Tung Seng Fu, and of course, our student, Francine Scanilla Lu, Dr. Myrna Quito, and Ray Matthew James Valante, Emeritus Professor Dr. Paraydadatu Thomas, Dr. Feling Yong. Good morning. Good morning from this side of Asia, the Philippines. Welcome to the second installment of our celebration of the decade-long robust partnership between FEU and Taylor's University. there's this term, mutualism. It refers to a relationship in biology or society that's mutually beneficial to two living things. This relationship can be within the species, between living things from two different species, between individuals in a society, and between two societies. Each participant in the mutualistic relationship is called a symbiont. That's what I know about biology, period. But having witnessed both personally and as a passive observer of this decade-long relationship, I must agree that mutualism is what we have. You agree, Dr. Felim, Professor Thomas, Dr. Quinto? We have that. You have respect for each other. One of the Institute of Arts and Sciences' mission is to have strategic local and international partnerships and alliances with industry as well professional and other academic institutions to achieve student satisfaction and the highest accreditation to make FEU to level university as a university choice of Asia. Last webinar's takeaway from me was the reusable learning outcomes. Got me so energized. And I want to start the conversation going, expanding training on this one with your, of course, help. Now more than ever, we have to strengthen our partnership at the level of our students. I am so happy that Dr. Quinto, despite her very busy schedule, she's running 2 schools now. I don't know how she makes that our 24 hours equivalent to her 48 hours. And she will share with us that the pandemic did not change anything, especially for Far Eastern University. And perhaps this is something that we together could expand as partners, because I am not a psychologist, but now more than ever, our students need us to enlarge their world because they are cooped inside their homes. And it's at that age that you will agree with me that they should be out, they should be exploring, they should be creating their societies, but they cannot at this point. So I am very grateful for everyone who made today happen, and we can explore this. We can hear from our students. We can hear from Mr. Volante and of course Francine, because this is something that they really want to do, expand their world in a world that's made smaller by the pandemic. I congratulate everyone who worked hard to make today happen. Dr. Lourdes Aguirre, Ms. Benita Daza, of course, from our end, Benny Dolaires, Dr. Lee, first Dr. Masagkay, Dr. Chia Yunyin, and Associate Dean Mark Salvador Isla. Maraming salamat and mabuhay tayong lahat.
Thank you very much, Dr. Reyes, for that very relevant message. And we would like to greet you a very happy birthday.
Mabuhay! Thank you very much. I'm working on my birthday all the time.
Happy birthday, Dean, and advance happy birthday to Dr. Felim.
Oh, we're all March. That's why we love each other. We're on the same cloth. We're made from the same cloth. Thank you.
Okay, and to introduce our first speaker from Taylor's University, we have Dr. Tor Yin Sin, lecturer, School of Biosciences, Faculty of Health and Medical Sciences, Taylor's University.
Thank you, Dr. Maria. Right, Dr. Tong Seng Fu is the manager of the Center for Academic Program Management. He's taking care of global mobility, student retention and advisory, and also APEL. Mr. Tong is responsible for planning, managing, and supporting the international partnerships for student exchange in Taylor's University. He's currently working closely with various internal and external stakeholders across the university, partner institutions, and also governmental officers to ensure the development of effective partnership and action plans that foster student mobility. He's also supporting Taylor's internationalization strategy, and Mr. Tong is supported by 2 staff in the Office of Global Mobility. They handle all the matters pertaining to student exchange and summer and winter programs. Today, Mr. Tong will be sharing his talk entitled The Impacts of COVID-19 to Student Exchange and Mobility in Year 2020. Let us welcome Mr. Tong.
Thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. students and colleagues from Taylor's University and also FEU. Right. It is my pleasure to be the first speaker to talk to you all today. Right. I have prepared some slides today to show you all. Allow me to share my screen now. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, Mr. Tong.
Okay, good, right, okay. So, yes, my topic today is on the impact of COVID-19 on student exchange as well as the global mobility. As you can see that, first of all, of course, we must understand what is student exchange and global mobility, right? Student exchange, we are actually referring to fee-paying students, whereby the students are paying local tuition fees, but having the opportunity to study globally at the partner university. Normally, the duration could be a 1 semester or up to a 1 year long. We also have another form of mobility we call the short-term mobility, whereby generally it is better known as summer program or winter program. The duration of this program normally range from 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or even up to 1 month, depending on the university offerings. And there's also another type of program called customized study tour, which range from few days to few weeks, where the students will have to pay tuition fees and all other miscellaneous charges for this short-term mobility program. And why students choose to go for exchange and also perform some mobility? They have the chance to become more independent, of course. There's an opportunity for students to pick up a foreign language, to discover their new potential. Of course, they pay local tuition fees and they get the opportunity to study in overseas. They can also expand their career opportunity. They could make friends from all over the world, experience the new culture and environment during their exchange or during their mobility period. And it also gives them a chance to understand the different style of education in terms of alternative and also innovative way of learning in overseas institutions. It will, of course, enhance the student professional development, hence strengthening their students' profile and their CVs. In short, it is a life-changing experience for students. As everybody recall, last year we were hit by this COVID-19. It started off in January in Wuhan, China, and very quickly it spread to all over the world in almost every part of the world. So, however, it is very difficult for us to determine the full spectrum of the consequences. But in general, these are some of the noticeable and obvious impacts that we could see. Number of lives being sacrificed and number of infected cases increased tremendously. And many countries locked down, they implemented travel bans, so on and so forth. World economy was badly affected. A lot of people losing their jobs, and people started to work from home if the job nature allowed so. So what is the impact on students, particularly to exchange and mobility? It slowed down the traffic of inbound and outbound students. Some students who were halfway during their exchange, they were being called back to their campus by their respective universities. For those who have not started their mobility yet, the parents and even the students themselves, they are not confident to travel that time. Due to various reasons, such as they worry about the safety in the host university, in the host country. They worry about city being locked down, border closed, travel restriction will be implemented, so on and so forth. And there will be lesser or even non-availability of returning flight. Also, there's lack of visas that they worry. And of course, cost of traveling will become very expensive, due to the fact that there were lesser flights by then. And there is also a lot of uncertainty of many other aspects. What about the impact on the institutions? Institutions, a lot of them stopped accepting and also sending students for exchange. Some institutions call their students back, what I mentioned just now. And a lot of institutions have to re-strategize and reorganize themselves for the ever-changing situation. And most of the summer programs have been canceled, the physical summer program. What were the quick fix by then at that time? Virtual exchange were being introduced. Virtual summer programs were also introduced. Some are FOC, while some others chargeable. And there are more and more webinars that we can see from time to time, they are being offered. The duration is like 1 day or 2 days, etc. Okay. I have a video to show you what is virtual mobility. So what happened at Taylor's last year? We allowed inbound exchange students to take virtual exchange for selected programs and modules. However, only a handful of students participated. And larger number of students prefer to defer to this year, hoping that the situation will be improved, right? They were hoping that it will become more safer for them to travel in 2021. And they are also hope to see vaccine to come out in this 2021. And of course, they want to enjoy the real meaning of student exchange, such as the life experience, whereby they can experience the culture, to taste the food, to travel, and so on, when this virtual exchange could not provide such experience. And for outbound students, they were given the liberty to decide what is best suited for them. Of course, we canceled all inbound summer program last year. And the pandemic situation is constantly changing. Therefore, TALOS has been following the situation regularly and we act accordingly until today. That's all my presentation for today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tung Seng Fu. To introduce our second speaker from Far Eastern University, may I call on Mr. Albert Benny Doloires, Department Chair, Medical Technology, Institute of Arts and Sciences.
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Good morning. It is with great privilege that I introduce our next guest speaker for this session. Dr. Myrna P. Quinto is a biology graduate from the College of Holy Spirit, Manila, and finished her Master of Arts in Education major in biology from the University of the Philippines, Diliman. She holds a doctorate degree in Science Education major in biology from De La Salle University, Manila, Philippines. She also holds a certificate in Leaders in Education Program International from Nanyang Technology University, Singapore, and has held several administrative positions in the university as program head, dean, and Dean of the Institute of Arts and Sciences and Dean of the Institute of Education. Dr. Quinto oversees the planning and continuous improvement of FEU academic programs, resulting in its attainment of Centers of Development and Excellence for certain degree programs and its sustained autonomous university status. She has participated in a number of local and international conferences and workshops related to quality assurance and internationalization, foremost of which is the ASEAN University Network Quality Assurance, or AUNQA, training course held in Bangkok, Thailand, and a month-long CHED training program in the internationalization of Philippine higher education held in Canada. This is with partnership in the Canadian Bureau of International Education. She has initiated several internationalization activities at the university that resulted to a number of student exchange programs, research collaborations, and other academic activities. She is also a member of various Philippine as well as international academic and professional organizations. She has also been invited as resource speakers in both local and international conferences and has papers published in an international journal. Currently, she is the Vice President for Academic Development of Far Eastern University. Without further ado, let us all welcome Dr. Myrna P. Quinto with a virtual round of applause.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Benny, for your introduction. So let me share my screen. Okay, I hope you can see it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, once again, good morning, everyone. And for those people from Taylor's University, welcome to Far Eastern University. And for those people from Far Eastern University, welcome to this webinar. Okay, I am very happy to have been invited to speak about FEU's experiences on internationalization, particularly on student mobility. And I am very happy as well to have this partnership with Taylor's University. I think this is the one of the most active partnerships that we have in the university. And I am very happy also to let you know that Institute of Arts and Sciences, Department of Biology, started this partnership 10 years ago. So as I have said, Taylor's University is a home for FEU's people every time they go to Malaysia. Okay, so my talk will be on the positive impact of COVID-19 on internationalization and then the FEU digital collaboration. So this is just to let you know that my presentation will be more of a sharing of what we have done so far in FEU before and after, before and during the pandemic. And this is to inspire our students present here today to understand and to participate in the different activities that the university will be doing and the university is doing right now. Okay, so internationalization is, of course, one of the areas that is being strengthened by the Commission on Higher Education. Commission on Higher Education is the regulating body of all the higher education institutions in the Philippines. So CHED, or the Commission on Higher Education, issued the Memorandum Order 55 series of 2016, which talks about the internationalization of the different higher education in the Philippines. CHED believes in the importance of internationalization, thus came up with this memorandum so that all higher education institutions in the Philippines will consider internationalization as part of its goal. As defined by the Commission on Higher Education, or that CMO, internationalization involves the integration of international and intercultural dimensions into the goals, functions, and delivery of higher education institutions. In the Philippines, higher education institutions has three focal functions, that is teaching and learning, extension, and research. And in FEU, we are trying to integrate internationalization in all those three focal functions of the university. Internationalization also serves as an expansion of higher learning within and beyond national borders and centers of scholarly studies. So internationalization is really one of the goals of Commission on Higher Education, which is strengthened. CHED requires all higher education institutions to strengthen this in this area. So there is really a need for internationalization. CHED is not the only one that believes in it, not only the universities or institutions in the Philippines, but even other countries believe in the importance and the need for internationalization. So in the UN Committee for Economic Development in 2006, they said that internationalization and globalization experience should be provided to all students throughout the educational experience at all levels, meaning internationalization should not only be for higher education institutions, but even for the basic education. And there is a need to increase transformational change in education, since the globalized world requires educated citizens who can learn continuously and work with diversity, both locally and internationally. As Dr. Tung said a while ago, okay, students improve a lot when they experience mobility, and I agree with that. Okay, so internationalization has two pillars, which I think have been discussed already: the home-based or campus-based, and then the cross-border. So the campus-based or home-based is an internationalization at home. And I am happy to let you know that FEU has done several campus-based internationalization, because we believe not all students will be able to leave the country because it's expensive. Not everyone is capable of living, and therefore we want others to experience internationalization, and that is internationalization at home, which I will be giving you examples later. Of course, cross-border internationalization is moving out of the country to experience the culture. Okay, so as I have mentioned, not everyone will be able to do this. Okay, and that is the reason we are trying to strengthen in FEU internationalization at home. So internationalization is very important among the students. So some of the answers here, or some of the importance that I am giving here, actually came from the students when we interviewed them after the internationalization or mobility experience. So these are the different the importance of internationalization coming from the students, and of course from the memorandum, from the CHED memorandum. So students, of course, can gain international experience. I think some of them have been mentioned by the former speaker, by the previous speaker. Improve language skills and communication. I think it was mentioned a while ago. Okay, and then of course, international classrooms lead to improve learning outcomes, foster intercultural skills. It can also improve one's career prospects because meeting other people, learning other perspectives, okay, they can gain knowledge about the other countries, about the culture, and it may improve their career prospects. And it creates international networks. As mentioned a while ago, they meet other people across the world. So this is how important internationalization is. And Far Eastern University, which is regarded as one of the universities, top universities in the Philippines, included in its mission vision internationalization. So Far Eastern University aims to be a university of choice in Asia, and it can only be possible by improving and strengthening internationalization, because we want to build, or we want to produce graduates who are globally competitive and exhibit the core values of fortitude, excellence, and uprightness. Okay, so internationalization is indeed part of FEU's plans, and it is one of the areas that we are really working on. So now at present, we have partners. These are just examples or few of the partner countries that we have right now. And FEU's internationalization, of course, targets different areas. Okay, of course, our topic now, and we will be concentrating on student mobility. But aside from that, we also have faculty mobility, both outbound and inbound as well. Okay, we try to improve on international affiliations, and now we have added international assessment as well. And of course, the joint conferences. So this is the target internationalization activities of Far Eastern University. Okay, so as I have mentioned, okay, so I have, may I please, wait. Sorry, okay. So as I have mentioned, let me focus on the student mobility. Okay, and for our student mobility, as I have mentioned a while ago, we try to increase or to strengthen home internationalization, because we believe not everyone will be able to leave the country. But we don't want them to deprive the experience of meeting and learning the culture of other countries. That's why we are strengthening as well the inbound student mobility as part of our home internationalization. So we started, okay, with our summer program, okay, and this is one of the pictures, okay, during our summer program in FEU in 2018. So this student was so active. He's from Indonesia. Okay, he's a business student. Okay, and he enjoyed. So here is his experience and his idea of what student mobility brings about in him. Okay, and then in 2019, So from 2018, we started the FEU summer program. It's an annual summer program. And then in 2019, this is the picture for 2019. And there is one student from Taylor's University who participated in the 2019 FEU summer program. Here in the picture, you can see that we allow them to experience our international partners, international students. We allow them to experience some of the cultures and some of the practices of Far Eastern University. And then in 2018, as I have mentioned, okay, that was the very first summer program that we had. Okay, so these are some of the pictures of the activities that were conducted in 2018. Okay, so still in 2018 summer FEU summer program. Now, aside from that, we invited as well, okay, or we accommodated as well other students from other countries as part of the Southeast Asian Teacher Project, okay, where they conducted or where they had practice teaching in some of the schools in the Philippines. And this is still part of the Sea Teacher Project. So these are students coming from different countries as well, from Indonesia and then from Malaysia. Okay, still some pictures of the students from our partner schools who were part of the Sea Teacher Project, conducted practice teaching in the Philippines. And then this is a student exchange, a one-term student exchange from Korea, Far East University, Korea, where they stayed here for 1 semester for crediting. Okay, so 3 students from tourism and architecture, okay, came here for 1 semester and spent 1 semester here. So these are the some of the testimonials of the students who experience internationalization or home-based internationalization. So from their testimonials, we can see the experiences that they had, the learning experiences that they had in the university. Okay, and then of course, outbound. As I have said, not everyone can leave, okay, but still some of the students were able to leave the country and joined the student mobility outbound. So we also sent some of our students in the Southeast Asian Teacher Project in Thailand. Okay, so our education students participated there. Okay, still, this is for the Sea Teacher Project or the Southeast Asian Teacher Project, where FEU is a member. And then again, FEU students participated also in the short-term projects like the project-based learning or a summer program in some of our partner universities. Here, this is an experience or participation of our students in Merco Buana University in Indonesia in 2017 and 2018. So we're able to send 8 and 11 students respectively. So our students also participated in some of the summer program of our partner universities. Okay, and then some trainings were also conducted in our partner schools, and some of our students also participated. So a training, summer program, a Sea Teacher, and so on. So also a practice teaching, Sarasas School in Thailand is our partner school where we send some of our students for practice teaching. Okay, and then Walailak University also is our partner university where we sent 8 medtech students and joined in the Walailak University Cultural Program. This is also a training where our students participated. This is in Singapore. And then again, another training for our IABF or our business and accountancy students, where they got a certification for a certified marketing professional and certified sales professional. And internship is also part of our program. So our tourism and hotel and restaurant management students participate in an international internship. And then, of course, as an exchange with Korea, we also sent our students to stay there for a semester for a credit, and that is also part of our outbound exchange. Okay, and then we were able to send also in Canada 2 of our students who participated in the summer program. Okay, I forgot to include a picture here. Okay, but also we sent to Algonquin College some of our architecture students who participated in the green architecture activities. Now, pandemic came. Okay, so the first question that came into our mind, will internationalization continue? Will our international relation office be closed? Because there will be no mobility, there will be no exchanges, travel is banned, okay, places are locked down, okay, and we already had a lot of activities, scheduled activities. Now, will we postpone? Of course, at first, the reaction is internationalization will be affected, but it wasn't. Okay, so before the pandemic, our view of internationalization is that a student inbound, a student outbound, they have to leave, they have to come. Okay, but this view changed after the pandemic. So internationalization now is because we can consider it a luxury because only those who can afford can travel. Okay, but now it is no longer a luxury. Okay, in 2011, it was mentioned that internationalization in education should no longer be a luxury in the 21st century. Now, the mindset has changed. Internationalization is an opportunity for all. Whether you are capable of traveling or not, you can experience internationalization. Pandemic has changed our idea and our perspective on internationalization. So we have now the borderless internationalization. No passport is required, no visa is required, no airfare, no transfer, no accommodation is required. You are enjoying internationalization at the comfort of your home. Okay, and no budget worries at all. Okay, we can join in any activity given by our partner universities. And we were surprised because in our internationalization activities, particularly mobility or student experience at this time, okay, there is a rapid increase both outbound and inbound. Okay, now we continue to experience, our students continue to experience summer program offered by our partner universities. Okay, we still continued with our summer camp. And before we only had around 12 to 15 participating students, but this time we had 300 participants from 7 countries and 37 institutions. That was a big number. Okay, we continue to send our students and experience partnership, experience meeting other people. This is just one of the examples. Okay, our students, as I have mentioned, participated in almost all activities of our partner schools. In Adamas University, our students, 25 of our students participated in an international conferences and presented paper. Virtual practice teaching is possible. Our education students continued its practice teaching abroad, and they had it in Indonesia. Our nursing students, okay, and faculty experienced partnership with the Indonesian universities. More than 200 nursing students and faculty joined our communication in nursing profession program. And our SIMPI, which is a joint conference, pushed through. And we had about 500 participants all over the country. So virtual student exchange are still there, ongoing right now. we have our students, some to come, some are ongoing, and these are all our participation. Okay, this is in Indonesia. This is still in Indonesia. We have a lot of students enjoying to learn Bahasa in Indonesia. Okay, and right now we have for one semester 58 students doing a virtual exchange program in Asia University in Taiwan. So in the pipeline, we will never stop. Internationalization in FEU is really borderless. What are our plans? And of course, Taylor's University will always be part of this. These are our plans. We'll invite student speakers in our classroom. We will conduct joint virtual conferences, symposium, forum to be managed by the students. We will have our digital collaboration for students. We will be coming up with this project. And then the virtual buddy system with international students to learn each other's culture, and then more hybrid blended program. So in pandemic did not stop us from doing internationalization. In fact, our international relation office is one of the busiest office in the university now. Pandemic gives us more opportunity. So the future is now. Majority of our future collaboration will be digital. Okay, so that was mentioned in 2018 by NAHOF. So more educators, more students will work in partnership, okay, without even meeting them by flesh. Okay, again, COVID-19 gives us a positive impact, and that is increasing our internationalization and sending more of our students to our partner universities. With that, maraming salamat po.
Thank you very much, Dr. Myrna Quinto. And to introduce our student speaker from Taylor's University, may I call again Dr. Tor Yin Si.
Thanks, Dr. Maria. So now let me introduce our next speaker, Francine. She's nicknamed as Franny or Fran, and she's known for her friendliness and also easygoing nature. Soon to be completing her studies in Bachelor's of Biomedical Science at Taylor's University School of Bioscience, Francine has a diverse range of interests which include a balanced use of the left and the right sides of the brain, and they are a passion towards health sciences, fitness, graphic designing, and her curiosity towards different cultures and also languages. In the past 3 years in Taylor's University, Francine was actively involved in many organizations. She's participating in various events and also volunteering in activities while juggling her roles as a leader in clubs such as Taylor's The French Club and also Taylor's University School of Biosciences Club, to name a few. In April 2019, Francine and two others from School of Biosciences, namely Wafi from Biotechnology Program and Kevin from Food Science Program, they represented Taylor's University School of Biosciences to participate in Far Eastern University's Summers Exchange Program. Following this, Francine will share her one-week literal ground-shaking experience in Manila, Philippines, alongside friends she has made from Indonesia and also Nepal that she still keeps in contact till today. So let us welcome Francine for her experience sharing.
Hi everyone. So I'll be sharing my screen. Okay. Can you guys see the screen?
Yes, Francine.
Yes, Miss Francine.
Okay. So hello everyone, my name is Francine, and today I'll be sharing my experience in the summer 2019 exchange that I did in Far Eastern University. And this experience is a very eye-opening and also ground-shaking one. Yeah, so I'll start off with talking about the 6 main areas that I'll be covering in my talk. So the first one will be visitations. So in Manila, Philippines, when we went there for the duration of the whole week, we actually visited places like the Intramuros Walls, the Rizal Park, and also the St. Sebastian's Church. Besides that, when my friends from the other countries have already gone back. And since Kevin, Wafi, and I had an extra day in the Philippines, we actually went on our own tour using the jeepney to also go around places such as the National Museum of Philippines, and also going through the malls there while getting some souvenirs for our families and friends in Malaysia. So moving on, I'll be talking about the university tour. So over here on the right side of the slide is the Tamaraw, which is the FEU's mascot. And over on the left side is also a painting or a frame done by Far Eastern University. Moving on, this is some of the class immersions I've done in the school. So what I participated in, since my course is biomedical science, I also took in the medical classes with the students, and I did pathology and also biochemistry, if I don't remember wrongly. Yeah, and over here at the bottom left corner, we actually had an opportunity to have our own painting and designing of our Tamaraw, the FEU's mascot, and we've been awarded prize for the best mascot. Yeah. Then over here, we have the jeepney. So jeepney is something that I don't experience here back in Malaysia, and it's a new thing that we get to, Wafi, Kevin, and I get to experience when we went to the Philippines. And with the jeepney, we can actually travel like in short distances. And in this short distance, after the conversion rate of like 9 pesos back in 2019, it actually converts back to about 70 cents per ride in Malaysia, which is something very affordable and also an eye-opening experience. So over here, going to a different country, definitely we would like to try the food. So one of the more memorable foods that I remember trying is also having the boodle fight, which is a long range of food, like a feast where everyone, stand around and exchange places while we share and eat our cuisine. Then over on the right side is a Filipino dessert called Halo Halo. And this is something that I really like a lot, considering I'm someone that enjoys eating cold desserts. So I remember back in that time, at that day, it was a very hot weather. So I, devoured my Halo Halo within minutes. That the other students were like, do you want another one? Do you want me to give you my Halo Halo? And I was like feeling very shy because I really enjoy eating the Halo Halo. Then over here, in Philippines, I've also met with a lot of my friends from Indonesia and also from Nepal. So I guess in the Philippines, one of the challenges I faced during that time was we had to come up with our own dance in the last day of the exchange program. So being someone that is more on the shy side, especially towards dancing and acting, I felt the pressure of performing well and being more of like a stiff person on stage. I guess I felt frustrated, and moreover, there was one friend in that friend group that liked to tease me friendly, saying like I kept making the wrong dance mistakes. And I guess with all these challenges going on, it took a great, it was very heartwarming to know that later on, which is like Ma'am Leah and Miss Pipai, they actually comforted me and told me like, just try your best. And yeah, so I guess this is like the part of the people and the culture that I've experienced in Far Eastern University, Manila, Philippines. And during the whole duration in the week in Manila, Philippines, at the second day there, we actually experienced an earthquake. And it was very scary for me, considering that we were having like a class immersion, learning about the Tagalog language, the Filipino language, and suddenly the ground was shaking and the lights were also shaking very badly, and we heard screams. And that's when I realized that, oh, this is an earthquake, and it's my first time experiencing in my whole life. I remember, we all got gathered at the field of FEU, and Miss Myrna Quinto, she even came down and comforted us and ensured we were okay until the night time, even though despite her busy schedule. So what I want to say is that the Filipino people are very hospitable people, and they are warm and I guess this is something that all of us can learn from them. So yeah, I'll be playing a video which for my performance that I did. So this was just a short clip of the video. The video is actually quite long, but due to time restrictions, I won't be showing the whole video. But in that moment, in hindsight, when I look back at the experience that I've gotten from Manila, Philippines, I would say that I'm very thankful for the opportunity to be able to go there and also experience the culture, to live with foreigners like my Indonesian and Nepal friends, and we got to know each other's culture better. For example, one of my Nepal friends, she actually had this culture that whenever she accidentally touches or steps the other person's foot, even with or without shoe, she needs to say like a mini prayer and also like bow to that person, in showing that according to her, touching the other person's feet is like not a good thing, because the feet is seen as something as very high up and it should be respected. Yeah. So what I want to say is that a food for thought for everyone. Will you want to look back in your life and say that you wish you had done that, or you're glad that you did that? This is a quote by Zig Ziglar. And that concludes my presentation for today. Maraming salamat. Thank you.
Maraming salamat, Ms. Francine. Thank you very much. And to introduce our student speaker from Far Eastern University, may I call again Mr. Albert Benny Doloiras.
Thank you, Mama Gire. It is with great pleasure to introduce to you our student speaker from FEU. Mr. Volante graduated as class valedictorian and class salutatorian in junior high school and senior high school respectively, and is now a third-year biology student. As part of student organizations in the university, he currently fills the following positions. He is currently the president of the FEU Biological Sciences Society and the chairman for Committee on Community Extension of the FEU Student Congress. He also had the experience of being a delegate for the United Nations Student Leadership Conference on Development and was awarded as the Outstanding Freshman Awardee in FEU in 2019. Let us all welcome Mr. Ray Matthew James Volante with a virtual round of applause.
So, good morning. Am I audible po?
Yes,
Yes,
yes, Matthew.
Yes. So, I would just like share my screen. So, is it projected already? So yeah, so to begin my talk, I would like to present a concept that has been long introduced by Charles Darwin, which is the theory of evolution. So, there's something wrong. So, on his most controversial and revolutionary book entitled On the Origin of Species, Charles Darwin imposed the idea that all species descended from one common ancestor. This would mean that around billions and billions of years ago, all the ancestors of all living species here on Earth was literally an ancestral and primitive cells floating in the ocean. And over time, these cells coalesced together and contributed to the formation and emergence of a wide array of species, starting from plants to fishes to amphibians, then to reptiles, and then finally to mammals. In the context of humans, however, it is believed that our ancestors belongs to the species of the great apes. And from then on, evolution took its course and generated a highly intellectual, social, and adaptive humans we know today. So why am I even telling you this? I'd like to impose the idea that though the divergence of human species produce different groups of people, different races with their own set of prevailing customs, identity, culture, and traditions, there is still something that connects us today. And that is the ability to adapt from our own environment, to accumulate experiences from that environment, and to use the knowledge gained for the better and greater good. And at any circumstances, at any rate, I believe that we all have the appetite to grow and learn. And I believe that student exchanges can afford each and every student an avenue to grow and expand their horizons by essentially forging meaningful connections and mutual understanding. So as someone who have yet to participate in an international student exchange program, allow me to reiterate how a student exchange program do just that by dissecting its advantages in three parts: in education, in personal development, and in growth. So first, in educational aspect, the international learning and knowledge gained from international student exchanges can propel students towards acceptance and understanding of an array of different cultural and community perspective. So having been exposed to an entirely different environment with an entirely different culture and community perspectives, students participating in an international student exchange program will be endowed with a profound sensitivity to deeply understand a culture other than their own. By coloring and accepting their differences, they learn to be open to new cultures and eventually appreciate them. And in doing so, a mutual understanding is best guaranteed to follow. Next, international student exchange program will provide an opportunity for an awareness and adoption of alternative multifaceted approaches to learning. So the idea of learning in a different environment and culture provides an avenue for students to acquire and adopt best learning practices done in that specific community or country. So by being immersed in an education with a different approach than ours, it is expected that the formulation and eventually adoption of a multifaceted approach to learning will yield better outcome, as it can generate a wide opportunities for students to learn under an educational framework that can specifically cater to their own personal needs. Next, there would be enhanced interest in global issues as well as a broader general knowledge. So as a social being and to a greater extent a global citizen, a student exchange program not only inculcates sensitivities to different cultures in students, but also instill a robust sense of shared responsibility to understand and participate in discussions and formulations of resolutions on different global issues. So by tapping and enhancing the interest of students on the ins and outs of a worldwide issues that can affect each and every one of us, we create students that are highly proactive and genuine in pursuits to forge a global connection and build a community where struggles are shared and resolved together. So on personal aspect, international student exchange program will yield self-development and awareness, leading to enhanced self-confidence and self-esteem. So as what have been transpired from the different talks of the speakers a while ago, I think it is that is something that is often most noticeable in students who participated in an international student exchange program. And I think that this is attributed to the fact that a student exchange program provides a room for students to meet other people, to learn from other people, and consequently to have the opportunity to tap into and recognize their own potential and grow in a different environment. And next, So there will also be maturity and social poise, fueled by the necessity to confront challenges outside the familiar support network and comfort zone. So this is something predicated in the idea that you will have no growth in an environment where you have comfort. So to grow, you must have the courage to seek for development in a different environment. And immersing yourself in a different environment will also generate an entirely different obstacles and challenges. And confronting that different obstacle would enhance the critical faculties of students and also their problem solving skills. And this would empower them to overcome different challenges or a related or similar problems in the future. And therefore, and a sense of accomplishment upon overcoming such challenges then encourages students to develop independent opinions, make informed decisions, and strive to attain fresh goals. So on a long-term growth, I think that the advantage of participating in an international student exchange program is that prospective employers in almost every field look favorably upon experience gained while living overseas and knowledge obtained of another language and culture. So as what Ma'am Quinto have said, and this is your participation in an international student exchange program that will revamp your credibility, will revamp your resume. So it is something that would that is looked for by employers. So if you have an international participation in different delegations, conferences, seminars, and various programs, that is highly a plus for employers. So because the employers will literally took that as something, a sign of your credible to contribute for the betterment and growth of the institution that you're applying for. And then last, the increased pressure to communicate and relate to others develops an awareness of group dynamics and personal sensitivity to others. So I think from what the previous speaker have said in her sharing, this is something that I think others would also gain if they were to participate in a student international student exchange program, and that is to develop empathy, to be able to be a group player, to be a team player rather than to be an individualist member. So by being a contributing and proactive team player, group pursuits or goals that are to be achieved by that group will be materialized and realized as soon as possible, and will also be generated with a high quality. And to end my talk, to end my personal perspective on international student exchange program, I think that while student exchange program offers such great promise of educational, personal, and long-term growth, I think that we should also take into mind that knowledge and experience gained without being translated into tangible action is useless. So as what Darwin imposed in his theory of evolution by natural selection, adaptations gained in a specific environment, it will only have a profound evolutionary effect if it is passed on to the others. So the same way, we should emulate such concept and always ensure that the knowledge and experiences gained that we have gained in participating in an international student exchange program not only be translated into a tangible action, but also be shared with others. And only then, I think that international student exchange program could foster or could forge a meaningful connection and a genuine international understanding. So that's all for my talk. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, Mr. Matthew Volante. At this juncture, I would like to call on our distinguished speakers, Mr. Tung Seng Fu, Dr. Mirna Quinto, Ms. Francine, and Mr. Matthew Volante for our forum discussion to be moderated by Dr. Lee Sauhar, School of Biosciences, Faculty of Health and Medical Sciences, Taylor's University, Lakeside Campus, and Dr. Frederick R. Masangkay, Faculty, Department of Medical Technology, Institute of Arts and Sciences, Far Eastern University.
Thank you very much, Madam Chairperson, as well as to all our speakers for your wonderful presentations and sharings. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the much-awaited forum discussion session. Shall you have any questions for our panel of speakers? Please feel free to type your questions in the chat box, or you may submit your question into the Slido application using the key code hashtag 45369. All right, so to kick off this forum discussion session, I would like to ask or address the first question to both our speakers, Mr. Tung as well as Dr. Quinto. As pointed out, student mobility is very important for the students to experience an enriching student's life. So as well as for Dr. Quinto, a big congratulations for the successful implementation of your virtual student exchange program. So my question would be, what would be your perspectives in terms of student mobility post-COVID-19? So do you think the internationalized student mobility program, a term that I picked up from Dr. Quinto's presentation, whether it will become the mainstream for future student mobility program approach, or whether the physical student mobility program will be re-implemented in the near future? So maybe we can start out with Mr. Tung.
All right, so, okay, thank you for the question. Okay, my opinion in this short-term 2 years time, probably 1-2 years time, the mainstream will still come from the virtual mobility, because I believe the students, even the parents, they are also concerned about the safety of the students, and therefore virtual mobility will be trend for now, right? And of course, as soon as the border is open, with the vaccination things going on, introduction of a green passport and so on, I also foresee that there will be a hunger for travel among the students for sure, right? So those who can afford, for sure, they will go for physical mobility. But at least virtual mobility will still be stay, at least to cater for another group of students who can't, let's say, go afford, or they can afford, but they are still worried about the safety, about the environment, so on and so forth, right? Therefore, I will see that there will be a two scenario will happen concurrently.
I see. So, Dr. Quinto,
Okay, so yeah, good morning. As Dr. Seng Fu said, of course, it will be possible to have the physical mobility in the future. But for the meantime, that we are not sure yet, our priority should be the safety of our students. So for the meantime, virtual mobility will continue. We will try to partner with more schools so that more of our students will be able to participate virtually. But when time comes, that everything is okay, we are assured of the safety of our students, we will of course go back to physical mobility, because we see the importance from the sharing of Francine. Okay, we have seen the importance of really mingling by flesh with the other students. But for FEU, our plan, even if physical mobility is possible, we will still continue with the virtual. We will have the blended type of mobility, so that those who cannot afford, those who do not really want to travel yet, may still experience the culture of other countries. So virtual mobility will still be there. Of course, we are looking for physical mobility, movement. We're really looking for that movement, but we will still continue with the virtual one. We can probably say we'll have the blended type.
Okay, thank you very much. So at this point, I would like to extend my congratulations to Dr. Tung and Dr. Myrna. Congratulations, Dr. Tung and Dr. Quinto, on your illuminating presentation and sharing. This demonstrates that Taylor's University and FEU Manila is unfazed even in challenging times in the quest to provide quality education to the next generation. To Ms. Francine and to Mr. Ray Matthew, Congratulations on your successful sharing in your student mobility experience and perspective, and inspiring other students in experiencing and opening up the world in the most positive manner. So I would like to direct my question to Ms. Francine and Mr. Ray Matthew. So as students, and from a student perspective, what do you think institutions should do or should do further to achieve a transformed student mobility program successfully?
Matthew, do you want to go first?
Ms. Lu can go first.
Okay. So I think for me, I think what the institution can do for now would be that in Ms. Myrna's presentation, she mentioned something about buddy program. And I think having a buddy program is actually very useful in the sense that there is a one-to-one interaction between the student from this country and a student from another country. So I guess the school can provide like a guideline for the students to have a topics to cover about in their sharing. And also from there are also like student can also talk about other things also lah, other than the topics covered. And I think another thing that schools can also do for students is that can arrange for like for the younger generation, there is this thing called like Discord or like online web channels. So students can interact with one another through playing games, and that's when they get to know people from all around the world. Because I personally also play video games with some of my friends, and we actually have meet up friends from like UK or US, and that's when we set a time to interact with one another, and that's when we catch up with one another too. Yeah, so that's from my side.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Francine.
I think in the side of FEU, I think I commend and applaud the initiative of the FEU to still continue student mobility program by actually transitioning to a virtual platform. So I think the FEU could also revamp, and other institution could also revamp its platform by really trying to make the programs and the activities necessarily accessible to students. So I think there's just one thing that I've noticed with how the student mobility program was actually carried out, not only in FEU but also in other universities as well. And that is the fact that it is not necessarily accessible to students. Like students will be really surprised that there are actually that kind of program done by the FEU. So I think the university and other participating institutions could also develop and empower students by revamping its platform to use available channels now that the much of our resources and time were really spent on social media. So I think that's the part where the institution could provide a transformative experience for students under an international student exchange program in the midst of this pandemic.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Lu and Mr. Matthew. So both of you answered in having similar thoughts, like Ms. Lu said, buddy program, online web channels utilized for video games as a platform for interaction and collaboration, which is the same for you. You're more concerned about increasing accessible platforms to increase awareness and marketing to students, especially now that we're transitioning more on online inbound and outbound student exchange. Thank you very much for both your sharing and answer. So Dr. Lee.
All right, thank you very much. Moving back to the speakers, Mr. Tung as well as Dr. Quinto, let me ask you the next question. All right, so what are the challenges that you would foresee in the Transform Student Mobility Program? So, and how do you propose, or how do you think those problems or issues can be resolved? So maybe we can start off with Mr. Tung.
Okay. For the virtual mobility program, there are a few challenges that we can foresee. First thing first would be the life experience is quite limited, right? There will be very less human touch, right, in terms of virtual mobility. But as mentioned by our student representative, Francine and also Matthew, probably buddy program is one of the solution to it, because when we assign a buddy to the students who participate in this virtual mobility, when they have any question or they need someone to refer to, at least they know the buddy will be the one. And when they communicate, they can actually expand their topics, not just to the question that they discuss. Probably they would talk about more things about how is your country, what type of food that you are taking, and what is your hobby. There will be more things that they can actually discuss, or even playing games like what Francine mentioned just now, right? Okay, and of course, there's also another thing that comes into my mind when we talk about virtual mobility. If our partners are from the Western country, for example, in Europe or in the, let's say, the Americans countries, so time zone difference is one of the challenges that we will face for sure, right? So because remember that there will be about 7 or 8 hours difference, let's say if compared to France or UK. So if we were having our class in the morning of 9 a.m., but the other part of the students, they are actually in their midnight. So they are either sleeping, or probably they have to keep awake just to attend classes, right? And these are real examples that happen to our virtual mobility students who took part last year. And students were facing some challenges whereby they can't take it physically and even mentally. So what are the things that we have done to overcome it is to introduce e-counseling to students and help them how to cope with the studies, So we have recording sessions for students. So probably students might not just need to attend the online classes at the odd hours, but they can actually go for rewinding of the class, recording of the videos to catch up, and then they can drop the question to the lecturers when they have any issue to clarify with the lecturers, so on and so forth. So these are some of the initiatives that we can think of to counteract the time differences for virtual mobility when we talk about the countries are actually far from our time zone, right? Yeah.
Okay, so I think I have the same answer with Dr. Tung. Really, the time zone is the most challenging part because we also have that experience with our students that they have to wake up very early in order for them to attend classes. So what we are doing is for our students is to really encourage them to manage their time in order for them to attend classes if it is really possible for them. Now, another is I also believe with Dr. Tung when he said that limited. There is a limited interaction. It's really different if it's interaction by flesh, diba? Okay, if you will be you will really have time to talk to one another physically. There's really a big difference. So what we are planning to do, as I have mentioned, is that one-on-one partnership can be possible. And we're trying to come up with small group activities. Okay, small group activities so that there will be more interaction. So that will at least help them to discuss more things. Okay, because there will be less participants. So I think those are the two important or two most challenging situations for the virtual one. Of course, for the physical mobility. The most challenging one really is the financial concern, because not all students are capable of traveling. Not all of them. Okay, that's why we have this idea that student mobility is a luxury, because only those who can afford can do it. Okay, so that's for the physical one. So what FEU has done in the past is to offer some scholarship for some of the students. We tried to identify student leaders. Okay, and then when they come back, they have to cascade to the students what they have experienced. Now that there is pandemic, I think the most challenging situation would be the safety of the students, that parents will not allow their children to leave yet.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Tung and Dr. Quinto, for your insightful thoughts. So moving on, I'll pass to you, Dr. Masanke, for your question to the two students.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Lee. All right, so before we close, for Francine and Matthew, can you share to our audience, in your experience, what is or what are the important qualities that a student must have or must develop if he or she wishes to be a candidate or to participate in a student exchange and mobility program? So I think now we can start with Matthew.
I think first of all, students should develop not just being like academically smart, but also what we call here in the Philippines as street smart. So when you are immersing yourself in a whole new different environment, you must be able to adapt in various circumstances. That would require, of course, the ability to fit in, the being empathetic, like being sensitive, because you will be meeting or you will be interacting in the whole duration of your stay in that country with a lot of people. So the only thing that you can do is to really socialize socialize smart. That would mean that you were not just there for vacation, you were there for a purpose. So take that exchange program, take that experience as something to equip you with the fundamental and crucial knowledge that could really be used in tangible projects, such as, for example, if you have been really exposed to a community where this certain issue is really prevalent, like you can start in your own country an initiative like an awareness program and of some sort. So that, I think, again, first of all, students should develop being the ability to adapt.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Matthew. How about you, Francine?
I think for me, a student that wants to join a mobility program, they should be initiative and also very open towards experiences, knowledge, and trying to understand the other culture and be accepting of it. Because when you're in a different country, there may be instances where you like view things differently than the other culture, but you need to understand, and if the situation permits, you can always talk it out with the other person respectfully, or if it doesn't, you can always just like keep it to yourself sometimes. Yeah, if it comes off as sometimes it might be too forwarding if it's something that is very, very sensitive. Yeah, and other than that, I think being initiative is very important in a student exchange program, because you're there for an experience. So you should be initiative, reaching out to people, speaking to more people. If you don't reach out and speak to others and always expect others to come towards you and ask you what's wrong, you will be missing out a lot lah. Yep, so that's for me.
Okay, thank you, Matthew and Francine. And for our student audiences, I would like to highlight the keywords that Matthew and Francine gave. So it was adapt, having initiative, being open, and having respect to other cultures. So thank you to our speakers and students, and we will now proceed to the closing remarks.
Thank you very
Dr. Lee.
much. Thank you very much to all our speakers and to Dr. Lee Sauhar and Dr. Frederick R. Masangkay. Before we finally close this webinar, I would like to request all participants to please turn on their webcam so that we can snapshot some pictures. Okay, Dr. Sao.
Just another moment, yeah. Keep your smile on. One more. Okay, done.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Sao. And to give us her closing remarks, may I call on Associate Professor Dr. Adeline Chia Yokin, the Program Director, School of Biosciences, Faculty of Health and Medical Science, Taylor's University.
Thank you so much, Madam Chairperson. This has been a wonderful webinar. I have really enjoyed listening to all the four speakers, to talk about mobility and the students sharing themselves as well. So it is a very great pleasure to see that these both institutions are really doing well despite of the pandemic situation here. We all know that virtual mobility would have eventually gained more importance in the higher education setting, but that is one day in the future. But nobody have expected that this future can be so soon, and it is so sudden and without leaving any much room for an option or a choice to all of us. In this regard, 2020 became the year to advance virtual mobility, both in the context of the pandemic itself and in view of the ensuing economic crisis. Following the closure of borders, movement came to a standstill, forcing almost all international travels to come to a halt. But international mobility became impossible for a physical face-to-face version. Therefore, the year 2020 and in this year 2021 itself, virtual mobility will have students and staff learning and teaching without being physically present, and might be the only reliable option for some institution that is in lieu of this pandemic itself. So one might never have the urge to use video conferencing like what we are experiencing now using Zoom, if it is not for COVID-19 itself. So things that were physically possible are now virtually possible, as what we have seen from the FEU Manila campus itself. Through cross-cultural collaborations, virtual mobility can empower students from very diverse backgrounds to mingle with one another without crossing the borders. In many cases, these type of exchanges can serve as a new way to discover the world without leaving the comfort of our own home. They can level the playing field so that all students, irregardless of their income, can learn in an extreme diverse setting. So this webinar could not have made it without the support of Associate Professor Dr. Marina Quinto, Dr. Rovina Kapalong-Reyes from Far Eastern University, as well as Emeritus Professor P.T. Thomas from Taylor's University. Not forgetting the organizing committees, Dr. Lee, Dr. Uy, and Dr. To from Taylor's University, as well as Dr. Cynthia and Dr. Mary from FEU Manila. I personally wish to express my gratitude to all of you for coming to this awesome webinar, learning about the future perspective of global mobility and sharing all your experiences and thoughts. And I do hope that all of you have a great week ahead. Thank you, take care, and stay safe.
Thank you very much, Associate Professor Dr. Adeline Chin Yo Kien. And to give us his closing remarks, may I call on the Associate Dean, Mark Salvador O. Isla from the Institute of Arts and Sciences, Far Eastern University.
Thank you, Professor Aguirre. I hope you can hear me clearly.
Yes, sir.
Right. So to our guest speakers, Mr. Tung Song Fu, Ms. Francine Canila Lu, and Ray Matthew Belante, to Dr. Mirna Quinto, Vice President for Academic Development, Dr. Rowena Capulong Reyes, our Dean at the Institute of Arts and Sciences, our friends from Taylor's University, our FU faculty members and students, participants, good day. I'd like to sincerely thank our guest speakers for sharing their insights on the topic of future of inbound and outbound student exchanges in the second webinar series of Taylor's University and Far Eastern University. So indeed, the current pandemic shaped the educational landscape, not just of our one country, but of the whole world. It brought immense challenges to us in the education sector, not just in maneuvering the entire traditional classroom learning to online and remote learning, but also to other important components like the student exchange programs. Our entire experience during the pandemic presents many uncertainties, but what is certain is that education will continue and that student mobility and exchanges will also continue and will be further developed. In the past, it seems impossible for us to continue inbound and outbound student exchanges because of the travel restrictions and because of concerns about security and safety. However, many universities were able to find innovative solutions to continue with these meaningful student exchange activities. We were able to use various online platforms to reach out and start our exchange programs. Although the benefits of having an exchange program online may not be the same as that of the traditional exchange program, the participants will still yield more tangible or intangible benefits such as gaining new friends, learning other people's culture, learning language, etc., without spending money for travel, accommodation, and others. Hence, it is my fervent hope that universities will continue to seek new ways to elevate student exchange experiences under the new normal. In closing, I'd like to thank our partner university, Taylor's University Malaysia, and the Department of Biological Sciences of FEU for spearheading this webinar series. And I hope that this is not just the start, or this is not just the, I hope that this is just the start of many programs that will be organized in the future. Once again, thank you very much and have a good day.
Thank you very much, Associate Dean Mark Salvador Isla. At this point, the organizers from Far Eastern University and Taylor's University would like to extend their sincerest gratitude to those people who in one way or another shared their precious time and efforts for the success of this webinar. Your meaningful engagement in this webinar is another milestone for all of us. To all of you, thank you very much. This has been Dr. Maria Lourdes Aguirre bidding you good day, and to God be the glory.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, Dr. Sao.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dr. Maria.
Maraming salamat. Thank you very much.
Again soon.
Maraming
Thank
salamat.
you, Dean.
Thank you.
Dean Reyes.
Congratulations. Happy anniversary.
Thank you, Dean.
Happy birthday, Dean. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday,
Happy anniversary to
Dean.
Taylor's and FEU. 10 years.
Yes, yes. Okay, thank you.
Happy
Thank
birthday,
you, Dr.
Dr.
Felim.
Tinto, Dr. Wen Reyes,
Dr.
And
Yong,
Dr.
happy birthday,
Felim.
Dr. Felim. Happy
Oh,
birthday.
yeah.
Felim,
Dr.
happy
Felim on
birthday.
March 20.
Thank you.
Am
Thank
I
you.
correct,
Fantastic.
Dr.
Yes,
Felim? It's
correct.
March 20. Yeah.
We are all in a March.
Yeah.
Get
We
a
are
kid
all
character.
March.
All right. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Okay, have a nice day.
Okay, thank
See you all
everyone.
soon.
Have a wonderful week.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.